Need a motion to come out of executive
No,
session?
not yet.
Yes. Motion by
Second.
Fiona, second by Ellen. All those in favor to come out of executive session? We're out of executive session. Okay. On to our last two discussion items. We have approval of Local 579, Council Number 4, custodian, maintenance, cafeteria, paraprofessionals, and secretary of license. So moved by Mr. Cavanero, second by Mr. Oliver, Mr. Rivero, sorry. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, we have approval of Local 1579, Council for non-teaching registered nurses. Need a motion? Mr. Oliver. Discussion?
Sorry, gotta get a vote.
In favor? Opposed? Unanimous? Okay. Consent agenda. Have a motion to accept the consent, Fiona. Second by Ellen. Discussion? In favor? Unanimous? Nice. Comments for the good of the order?
Motion to adjourn.
I have one. Just one. Just so that everybody knows. Chris Murphy will be at East School at 2 o'clock tomorrow doing a We Need Funding for Schools presentation. There will be, anybody wants to attend, you're more than welcome to attend.
Can I add to that comment?
Yeah.
Goes directly to what we discussed earlier in terms of getting some realistic perspective from our administrators about how to really rethink what we're doing with some of our public education agendas. Because if you're at the Washington level, we've got all kinds of people running for office to represent this district. And if we can come up with something that we can, as a full board, get behind and say, this, at least we can get it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to shake hands this way tomorrow instead of
This is supposedly not from his re-election campaign. This is from his current administrative position. Okay. Committee, yes.
No, for good of the order.
Yes.
I have a question pertaining to the article that I read about what transpired with the girls' cheerleading squad. And I'd like to know from the superintendent if there's anything that you would like to publicly state that would shed some light on this situation for a person who, just viewing it from a newspaper article, it certainly was disturbing in the sense that all I could understand was there seemed to be some problems with some of the kids, and as far as discipline, and at the end of the day, I didn't see where the kids were disciplined, but a couple of the coaches are gone, so I don't see how that. So I don't know what you can explain. I don't know if it's.
So before Cheryl gets into it, I did send an email out to Cheryl and informed the board of it that as far as a board standpoint, we wanted to make sure that the administration had followed all the policies, procedures, dotted their I's, crossed their T's, and that the disciplinary review of the original complaint and then the follow-up complaint of the lack of coaching staff, all of those areas would be addressed, according to our policies and procedures. If she wants to go into any more detail, because we can't really just, we can't evaluate these individual members of our staff as a board. We can't talk about the coach's performance of something, that's a personnel matter.
But we as a board should know how something can transpire, what type of culture we have there, where either students think that their misbehavior will not have negative consequences for them, and not only will their misbehavior not have negative consequences for them, but the people that we pay to oversee their activities, be it whatever it is, actually lose their jobs. And I'm not really concerned with the aspect of this specific case, except to understand that from a board's perspective, is this the type of culture we have in our school system? Is the type of culture in public education, state, nationwide, and that's the case, what do we need to do as a board to let students know their misbehavior will have negative consequences to them, and teachers, administrators, whoever runs the school district, if they go to implement discipline, they don't have to fear that they're going to lose their jobs. I know there, and I'm, like I said, I'm not concerned necessarily with the aspect of these specific individuals. I have no idea who they are, but I am concerned as a board member, knowing that we always have administration and policies that are proactive, not to let these situations arise in the future.
Well, tell me where I go. I'll give it a shot. There was an initial complaint of bullying on the cheerleading squad. The athletic director, or the coaches, did their diligence to handle the bullying claim. There was then complaints from parents that it wasn't handled correctly. The athletic director put the two coaches on administrative leave while an investigation was had. There was meetings between the administration, the athletic director, the coaches, and the people involved. The final meeting, which was last Wednesday, the coaches have never been fired.
Okay.
They were on leave while the investigation was going on, which is what the policy is for it to happen. They were given the opportunity to take their squad back over. The investigation, from what I understand, yielded no misdoing by the coaches and no misdoing by the athletic director, and they have the opportunity to retake their positions and go forward with the team. They were still weighing their options as to whether they felt the season was too far along for them to gain anything out of the season. They're both coming back?
And there's a process that's going to occur with them returning.
And the alleged bullier, what was?
That was handled back in October.
Okay, and it goes back to when we were on policy together, the whole concept of, I was an advocate that when students engage in that type of misconduct, they will be banned for that year to participate in that athletic event. And I'm not talking, I don't want.
It's questionable. It's, if you look at the definition of bullying,
Okay.
it has to be, could be multiple ways, but it has to be over time, for a period of time.
Yeah,
And
It can't be a one-time instance. In this
Right.
situation, there's a fine line between motivating and bullying.
And what
that
I
line
want-
was apparently crossed in a student's mind, so.
And what I was
It leads to an
talking about
investigation.
is going back to an issue that disturbed me when we were on policy, that I wasn't able to get through policy, that when kids go through the procedural aspects of their misconduct, they know that the consequence of their misconduct will be a year loss on that athletic team, or any extracurricular activity. And I'd like to see policy go back to do that.
Well, you're still on policy, so you
Okay,
still have
well.
that opportunity while we review it. Because we only have 7 minutes, unless anybody has anything special to add under committee reports? Okay. Items for upcoming agenda, we have an update on credit recovery, budget timeline, committee reports, receipt of the monthly financial statements. We're going to add Mr. Crowley to every other month's meetings to give us a technology update from the technology side. Upcoming meetings, we have Saturday, this Saturday, we have a board retreat from 9 to 12 in the morning at Midgeon Avenue. We have a non-meeting of the Superintendent Search Committee from noon to 2 on Saturday to allow members to review the applicants that we've received. We need to get everybody in there. We have to get them reviewed because by next week we have to pick our first round candidates because we're supposed, by our timeline, we're supposed to be holding interviews the last week of January.
Are we going to have a special meeting next week as a board to our determination of
We're
who?
hoping to do it Saturday.
Okay,
With
so
our-
we're not just gonna review
You're
the
going to review and
application.
rank.
Okay, so, well, that's not what the original said. It's review and
If
rate
we
as a
can get
board.
everybody to attend, or enough people to attend, and we can come up with 4 candidates, we're going to
Okay.
recommend 4 candidates. If
And
not,
that'll
we'll have
be-
to call another meeting.
That'll be noon to 2.
That's noon to 2. 9 to 12 is the board retreat. We have,
At Midget?
they're both at Midgeon Avenue. Policy committee is February 1. School improvement is February 1. Budget is February 8th. Personnel, we're going to move that to February 8th, after budget, because we can't seem to fit it in the hour before this anymore. It's too big. I need a motion for,
I'd like to, about this, we're still on this agenda item. Are you inviting Mr. Carla to come to the next meeting? Is he going to be on the agenda?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes, and then every other meeting.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he'll, for the tech plan, then every other
I
meeting.
would like him to submit to the full board, or from whomever, from the administration, an executive summary of just the broad outlines of the tech plan. You know, what are the considerations that the board needs to be keeping track of? Okay? I want to get a dialogue between his department, him specifically, and his people, and this board, so we can begin following the progress
We
of
can
this plan.
forward,
rolled
we
out.
can forward a blank copy of the plan with the types of questions and information that we're required to put in the plan. It's about a 2-page document, and it runs the whole gamut. of
we're already at 45 pages, so, I mean.
No, I was just talking Michelle, not what we're putting in,
Okay.
just so some idea, yeah, no, just so.
When he comes here, I don't want deer in the headlights looks from the board members about what we're talking about. It would be
When
nice
do
to
you
have
think
this-
you'll have it
this
completed?
discussion structured and
No,
structured.
but I was
from-
gonna give you the template for the plan, so you at
Okay.
least see,
Yes,
because it's so
okay.
set,
Right.
we're up to
Draft for
45,
February meeting.
yeah.
When do you think you'll have that
That's
draft
only executive
finished?
summary. I'm not asking for details. just
Before the next
roadmap,
meeting.
The
basic.
morning of, or week
No,
before?
the committee's gonna meet sometime next week, and then everybody has assignments to review and add content.
If there's, I think what I'm hearing from Mr. Cavanero, if there's any way we can get a week's heads up on that, so that everybody has some time to digest it.
Yes.
But in the meantime, I'll send you the template for the plan,
Okay.
so that you understand what you're doing to put it together.
Motion by Ellen, second by Fiona. All those in favor of adjournment? We're out.
I told Dave,
Would you like David to have it?